We begin in the US, where numbers just released show unemployment has surged in April, the biggest in close to 90 years. Tens of millions of jobs were wiped out right across the country as coronavirus lockdowns battered the economy. Unemployment skyrocketed to 14.7%. It was 4.4% in March. In April, 20.5 million jobs were lost. That's the worst result since the Great Depression, which began in 1929. It far exceeds the 2008 global recession when 8.7 million jobs were wiped out. Let's go now to our White House correspondent, Kimberly Halkett, on those numbers just coming out of the U.S. And Kimberly, today's numbers just adding to the bleakness of yesterday's weekly figures, right?
Absolutely. And the U.S. President Donald Trump giving an interview to Fox News just now, talking about those numbers, reacting about the very high unemployment rate that was not unexpected, but certainly not good news for this administration. The U.S. president calling these numbers, in his view, unacceptable, also saying that he is optimistic that as president, he can bring this economy back. You have to remember, just 8 weeks ago, there was another sort of record in the books, and that was historically low unemployment. Now we have just the opposite, new records being set. The U.S. president saying that he believes he can bring back a very strong economy. But what's interesting is his timeline. The U.S. president predicting that 2021 will be a very strong year. Why is that important? Well, the U.S. president is up for re-election in 2020. Hidden in that message is the underlying request that all Americans vote for him if they want to see these jobs come back.
Aside of showing this confidence that the economy will make up for other jobs, is he outlining how that is to be achieved?
I think one of the biggest things the U.S. president has been arguing is that it is necessary to reopen the economy, that the foundation of the economy, in his view, is sound and strong. But that's in contrast to what many experts believe, because the reality is, well, these jobs were lost in a matter of weeks. It could take months, even years, for these jobs to come back. Now, I should tell you that the U.S. president also talked about a few other important topics that I want to quickly just tick off in terms of headlines. The other big story here in the United States, of course, is the issue of the Department of Justice deciding not to prosecute Michael Flynn, the president's former national security advisor. The U.S. president promising that he will be releasing new details about that investigation that, of course, also enveloped his own presidency for many, many months. The U.S. president under investigation in terms of his contacts with Russia and whether or not there was collusion during the 2016 U.S. campaign. And also another big headline out of the United States that it's important to mention is that tape about Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia. This is a black man who was hunted down while he was jogging, allegedly shot by two white armed individuals. The U.S. president reacting that this video very disturbing, saying that he hopes that justice will prevail. But getting back to the issue of the economy and what really has rocked this country in terms of COVID-19, the U.S. president saying his administration has now been talking to Chinese officials in the last 24 hours. Very interesting that the president is saying with regards to the origin of this virus. Well, they always point to China and that lab in Wuhan. The U.S. president now saying that he doesn't believe that this was deliberately spread. Instead, he's blaming incompetence, saying, I don't believe it was done on purpose. So the U.S. president, in the midst of all that, the underlying message, Sammy, is that the U.S. president, as he tries to get this economy back on track, is looking to some sort of partnership still with China, knowing that it is a very important trade partner. It's important to note the U.S. president has not weighed in definitively on whether or not there will be additional tariffs as punitive action towards China for the reality of what he faces with this economy and these jobless numbers in the United States.
Clearly a lot on his plate right now. Thanks so much, Kimberly Halkett.